Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Scale Stories by Helium 10. My name is Bradley Sutton. I'm from Helium 10. I'm joined by
Leo Sgovio, Amazon seller since 2015 and the founder of Splice.io.
And we are here to help
Natalie launched my first product on Amazon.
And that first product is tuning forks for Helium. And so we've talked about a lot of the steps. All right, we've reached out to suppliers. We know what kind of product we're going to have. Now it's time to start thinking about the actual listing we are going to launch. And this is my favorite part almost of the whole journey. And that's keyword research, because I just love the science of it. And Amazon is very scientific. You know, they're obsessed with like algorithms. Why? Because they want a perfect algorithm to give Amazon the best chance to service the customer. They want to be able to show all the products that any customer is searching for, because why? Amazon's incentivized to do that. If they don't show them products that the customer is interested in, Amazon's not getting their commission, their pay-per-click money, et cetera, et cetera. So Amazon is super incentivized to like have a great customer experience. And one way to do that is by having a robust algorithm that really can, you know, based on what somebody types in, it's going to show relevant products. And there is a science to it. And Amazon, thankfully, they give so much data, probably more than any other platform out there, as far as things that help you to understand how their algorithm works. Things like search volume, things like, you know, keyword lists, etc. And so we're going to talk today about that. Now, this is very important because in a few minutes, I have not done this. This is the first time we're doing this live, guys. I never knew about this before, but now in my little knowledge of this, I know that the main, or one of the main keywords at least, is tuning forks, but for Helium. I guarantee you in a few minutes here, we are going to find ways that people find these products that is not this, and it's a keyword or words that we probably have never even thought about. And that's the beauty about keyword research. Do not, and I'm talking to you too, Natalie, not just everybody else, think that, hey, I know my product, how I would search for it, so this is the keywords I have to have. Of course, that's probably, you know, a keyword you need to have, tuning forks for Helium, nothing wrong with that. But you have to understand that there are probably 40 to 100 different ways that people are searching for this product, and they're looking for the same thing. I sell coffin shelves. Obviously, the number one keyword is coffin shelf. It doesn't take a keyword research scientist to understand that. But I'm shocked sometimes when I look at my advertising reports or I look at the reports coming from Amazon about what other keywords people use to find my product. One of them, one of the most funny keywords, I've sold maybe 30 units on this keyword, is a Japanese English word. It's called kawaii decor. Kawaii is the Japanese word, I used to live in Japan, so I know this, for kind of like, oh, it's so cute. Like a very cutesy way of saying cute. Like you see a little cartoon like Sailor Moon, oh, kawaii. What about a coffin shelf is kawaii or cute?
It's quaint.
But there's like 30 people who have used that keyword to find my product. Now here's the thing. If I did not have that keyword in my listing, I might never have shown up. Now, with advances in AI and things, eventually, actually, now that we'll talk about that later, but you could get what we call index or searchable for keywords, not in your listing. But you don't want to have to wait for Amazon to realize, or Amazon AI, oh yeah, this is a kawaii decor, just because 1 year has passed and they see that 4 people, you know, search for it. No, you want to be searchable from day one for all of the potential keywords that somebody would use to find this. All right, so that's kind of like what keyword research is in a nutshell. We have another Amazon algorithm and keyword lover, and that's Leo, who's been in this game longer than I. Leo, anything before we start diving in, any words you want to talk about, just the theory of keyword research?
Yeah, I think right now we are actually going through one of the most important, times of the Amazon journey, of the marketplace itself, with the launch of Rufus, with Cosmo that has become part of the algorithm. And so what Bradley said is super important, like being there, being found, being understood by AI, and understand also from a customer perspective, from an intent perspective, are all fundamental elements that will definitely define the listing and the success of the listing itself. Everything still comes down to the keywords, right? And how deep of a research we do. I'm excited here to see also how Bradley is going to start this keyword research process. and see how that will eventually, take the shape, leveraging some AI perhaps. So yeah, Bradley, let's get started.
The first step I'm going to do is in Helium 10, and obviously those of you who don't have Helium 10, just make an Excel file or something. I want to create a keyword list. And this is what, because we're going to be getting our keywords from a lot of different sources. And I'm going to, even show you some ways off of Amazon, off of Helium 10 on how to find keywords. So first we're going to go ahead and add this. We're going to say tuning forks. This is our tuning forks keyword list. The most basic that you can do is look in the autocomplete. Just type in tuning forks and then look at, this is like a Helium 10 Chrome extension, but this part is what comes up even if you don't have Helium 10. And then so here's some words right here. Tuning forks for Helium, tuning fork set. They're instant keyword. You don't need any tool, you don't need Helium 10, you don't even need an Amazon Seller Central account to be able to look. And actually 10 years ago, before there was like keyword tools, this is all you could do. Hey, let me just type in some of my things and look what autocomplete does. Another super simple way is scroll to the bottom of the page and you have the list of keywords that Amazon is saying people searched most before searching for this or after. So here you've got 6 keywords and some of you might have the singing bowl. Like this is not a singing bowl, but it's important to understand that keywords isn't just about keywords that describe this, but it's about use cases and what the people are also doing, especially in the world of AI. It allows you to paint a listing that talks about the whole use case. Hey, somebody's using tuning forks, and then I don't know what the heck a singing bowl is. I assume it's something along a similar. Do you know what a singing bowl is?
So it's a bowl. I forget what the material is, or if it can be multiple, like different materials. But you take, kind of like that mallet, but it's just like this stick, and you just.
Oh yeah, okay. I know exactly.
I've
seen the same thing you do in a crystal glass.
Yes, it's like that. That would be where they got that from.
Okay, there you go. So you see, I wouldn't have known that. I already told you a few minutes ago. Spoiler alert, you're going to find out keywords that you never even knew were relevant. I just found singing bowl. I was like, what the heck does it have to do with a fork? Bowls and forks, but we're talking about something different here. All right, so
about sound.
Yeah, exactly. It has to do with sound.
Yes.
So these are keywords. I would add these to my list. All right. So those are just simple. Again, without even Helium 10, if you have your Seller Central account like you do, there is a tool in Amazon called Product Opportunity Explorer. And it's under Growth and Product Opportunity Explorer. And not all like niches or product lines are in here. A lot of them are, but let's just go ahead and see if tuning forks is. Tuning fork. Looks like it is. So let's search for tuning fork. And here is, there it is. This looks like the niche. So if you hit tuning fork, this is what's called a Product Opportunity Explorer niche. And it's made up of products and it's made up of keywords that represent 90% of the sales for those products. Okay. So what I like to do is I'll go here to search terms and here's 20 keywords. Sometimes they're 20, sometimes they're less. And now these are what Amazon says is very related to the tuning forks category. This is 100% free. You don't even need the brand registry yet. From day one, once you get into Seller Central, you can get into this tool. And so we have a lot of tuning fork keywords with the Hertz here, healing instrument. We got some that probably is a brand name, almost sounds like an Italian name.
No,
right there.
solfeggio is actually it's a type of sound. It's
Okay. I thought it was a brand. We have a word. I have no idea. I've never heard of this word.
Interesting.
Let's search Google for that.
Oh.
There we go. An organ stops sounding in main reserve as an 8-foot pitch, a grand swelling burst of harmony. Wow. See, there's another keyword. I never in a million years, I never even heard this word in my life. Would I have put it in my listing? But no, but look at this. In a year, I would have missed out on 10,000 people who search for this keyword. Does all 10,000 result in a sale? No, actually, Amazon tells you how much result. 1%. So 1% of 10,000 is still what, 100 sales? Yeah. Unless I'm, calculating wrong. This is just one keyword. You're not going to get all 100 sales, but could you have gotten 3, 4 of them? Sure. And that's the thing. When we do keyword research, we're trying to find 50, 60 keywords that, hey, maybe it gets you 1 sale here, 2 sales here, 3. They add up. But again, if I did not have this keyword, I would have to wait for Amazon's AI to hopefully tie my product to this. but you want to be searchable from this on day one. You want to be able to advertise, which is a separate module, from day one on this. Healing tuning forks, weighted tuning forks, tone therapy.
Nice.
I know I've heard of that, but I didn't think about it with this. Great keyword. Tone therapy healing instrument. Some of these are searched for a lot. Tuning fork, 158,000 times. Tuning forks for healing set, 63,000 times. So here's another thing. What I would do, copy all these, put it into that keyword list I had. Let's stay off of Helium 10. Let's now go off of Amazon. Another way to do keyword research is if you know the product is on Etsy. This is just a little kind of like mini hack. Let's go ahead and search this up. Tuning forks for healing. Go to one of the ones that is well purchased. Usually there might be like a badge that says like bestseller or something. Here's a bestseller right here. All right. Oh my goodness, $113. That's a crazy price point. But actually, this is that one that we saw that was like $50 or something in Alibaba, right? So that makes sense. And then go to the bottom of this. And when you guys see explore related searches, this is not from Etsy. Actually, this is from Etsy. Explore more related searches. This is actually from the back end of an Etsy listing where the seller is asked to put their most relevant keywords. And this would have been because of what they saw from Etsy advertising, or maybe they just did their own Etsy research. Whatever the case is, this is what this seller put. And sometimes they put strange things like, wow, they just put utensils and stuff. Planet forks, what the heck is that? But German tuning forks, like who would have known that, that's a main keyword. But as we can see, there are keywords here that we did not see in the product opportunity explorer. Here's a full German word right here. So it looks like this is a thing in Germany, I guess.
Chakra looks like.
Chakra tuning for, what is it? Let's open it up. Chakra tuning forks in case. All right. So there's those little feet, right?
The singing bowls, I think.
$491. What in the world? That
Interesting.
would be interesting to look into. Anyways, here we're off on a tangent already, but that's what I love about this process. You go on tangents and it's totally fine. But again, back to here, doesn't require Amazon account, doesn't require Helium 10. I get some insights into keywords. And this is especially good if you're into a niche where there's not much activity on Amazon. It's these gem...
The gemstones, right?
Yeah,
the
gem feet. Let's look that up here. Because if I were to look on Amazon Product Opportunity Explorer, if I were to look in Helium 10 from Amazon and looked up, hey, what are the main keywords of gem feet? I'm probably going to find nothing because it doesn't even exist on Amazon, right? So in this case, I would go to Etsy and then just see, all right, what does this seller say? Oh, tuning fork with gem, and most of their other keywords are just tuning forks. So maybe the other ones might have some better insights. But that's when especially it's better to use Etsy, is when you don't see anything on Amazon. So now let's go into the meat and potatoes, which is the keywords that Helium 10 can give you. Because one of the most amazing things is you can put any product or products into Helium 10 and you can find out where it was showing up for in the search results. Not just anywhere it is right now, but anytime in like the last 2 to 3 years. Wow. Because that's important too, the historical aspect, because products get sales from keywords at different times of year. Like maybe during Valentine's Day, it could be tuning forks for Valentine's Day or something. That's not a keyword somebody's searching in July or August, but it's going to show up in February. Christmas gifts. Like if we look up what keywords drove sales for some of these tuning forks now, which is not December, compared to December or November, it's going to be very different. Like tuning gifts for men, or best gifts for people into chakra, like weird things like that are not going to be a keyword that somebody searches. So this is going to give us the best holistic. So the way we start is, since you don't have your own product, Cerebro is designed to start with your own product. I usually pick one of the lower sellers just to pretend it's my product, and we can run X-ray here. Let's just take a look at one of the lower sellers from like the bottom of the page. But we want to find like 5 to 10 very similar products to yours. Like, let me give you an example. We would not choose this one to find a keyword. I might want to look at this later on, but right now this step is, what are the most relevant keywords? the keywords that somebody uses to search for a $100 product in a metal case is going to be very different than the keywords that they would search for. So is this your competitor? Maybe, maybe not. In my opinion, not. You know, if somebody searches accordion on Amazon, I love this example because it's probably one of the best examples of how it's not. Notice how there's some like kids accordions here.
Okay.
This is the keyword. This is the keyword accordion. Thousands of people search for this. 12,000 people. But then we also have professional accordions, like maybe for a mariachi band, right? Somebody might say, "Oh, well, these are competing with each other." I say, no. If somebody is going to Amazon with the intent to buy an accordion for their kids, are they even looking at this $500 or $900 accordion? No. So in that sense, no, it's not competitors of each other. I could not care less what keywords drive sales to this if I have a $50 kids accordion. I want to know what keywords people are using to find other $50 kids accordions, because that's what's relevant to me. And so don't always, guys, and you, when you're doing this on your own, don't always just say, oh, everybody on this page is a competitor of me. I need to know what keywords they are. So that's why I'm not choosing the 95. Here's another one, a $6, just one tuning fork. I don't even know how they can sell it for $6.80. But is that your competitor? Probably not, right? So I'm just going to pick one product that's selling.
I saw a couple of them. This one, $39.97.
Well, let me actually sort this by their overall sales. And then now let's go a little bit. This one, no, for sure, right?
Yeah, it's a medical
Let me test you.
It's only one.
What do you think about this? Would this be a yes or no? Take a look at the stats. Would this be a yes? Should we look at it?
Say...
Look at the picture, look at the price, look at the sales, etc.
I want to say no, just because it doesn't have the puck, it doesn't have the mallet. Well, I guess that's the mallet right there.
I don't know what the heck this is. It says surgical.
Yeah,
it almost looks like that thing where you hit the knee and then your knee pops up.
Reflex,
but then look at this. The price, $14.69.
Oh, right.
You're not in that part. That's probably what you're going to pay.
I glazed over it.
Yeah. Sales are great.
Yes, I saw
good
that.
grief. I mean, man, these guys are selling 1,000 units a month. But again, the keywords here might not be that relevant.
Right.
Here's a book. Obviously, we're not choosing that. One quick tip. Once you have brand registry, like I do, this is my Helium 10 account, you're going to see something like this. This means Amazon brand analytics. And this is super key because this is telling you, this is not from Helium 10. This is Amazon saying that last week, what were the 3 top clicked product after somebody went to this page? So instantly, like, without even looking, like if this is my main keyword, I'm almost always going to pick that because it's like, oh shoot, it probably is, unless it's just a super cheap one. So this was a super cheap one, so I'm not going to choose it. But since this was $40 and is the number one most clicked, obviously I care about the sales from there. Here's another one. Similar, yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, good. It's the same product. This is, by the way, we're going to talk about this later in advertising. Look, this is the same product showing over and over. What is this, a Helium 10 mistake? No, they've got a sponsored product ad. They probably have a sponsored brand. They probably have a video, so it's showing up multiple times. You want to take up real estate on the page. Gives you more at bats. This one, this is a borderline for me. What do you think, Leo? Like this looks good, but just the price is kind of like, but still it's kind of low.
I would add it just to see.
Yeah.
Skip this.
Yeah. $54 for just one? What's that thing made out of? Platinum or something? Good grief. Oh, that was from a sponsored brand ad. $9, no. This one, yes.
Yeah.
Good. $164, so probably not tuning fork for $8, no. Set, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
$20 on the cheaper side, but still.
The $37 one. Yeah, Scribik is the main competitor too.
Yeah.
But you have 3 listings.
$6, no. That's gonna be good enough, all right? And then you're gonna hit Run Cerebro. Now what this is doing is it's checking like the last 30 days, where are these products all showing up in the search results? And this is just amazing because the way I explain this is, let's say you're selling products in a store, right? Brick and mortar store, grocery store. You want to go check up on your competitor. So you go to one of your stores or your products and you go to the aisle. Imagine being able to look at your competitor's products that are sitting next to yours in the aisle, and you know exactly what the customer who bought your competitor's products were thinking about right before they purchased it. That's like crazy talk. Yeah, that's crazy. Like how you know it. But that's what we're doing here, because what somebody's thinking about is what they type into the search before they buy their product. And so literally we can now know what the customers who found through search these products were thinking about right before they bought. What keywords did they use? All right, so a simple way is just to hit a one button thing, top keywords. Let's see some of the top keywords. We're probably going to find some of those keywords that we found already from the other tools. And there it is. These are some of those keywords that we found in Product Opportunity Explorer, etc. And so just why you can understand why does this come up, I'm going to show you here. I put my mouse over here. Look at this. Out of all those products, one of them was 1, one was ranked 2, 4, 5, 8, and 18. Most of them were all on page 1. And then we have a couple from page 2. And so that's why it became on this top keywords. If I wanted to say, I'm going to clear this search, I would add those to my list for sure.
Okay.
Maybe I'm like, hey, I want to see where at least 2 of my competitors, which is any of these here, are showing up in the search results from 1 to 10, at least 2. And there's 160, so I'm going to narrow it down. Let's say, hey, it's searched for at least 500 times a month. 10, well, maybe I need to widen it. Let's go 300. I want to see some keywords that we haven't seen yet. There we go, 36 keywords. Tone therapy.
There it is.
Yep, tone therapy. We got 128 hertz healing instrument, weighted tuning forks, healing tuning forks for healings. This is a beauty. What is this, Leo? What language is this probably?
That's Spanish.
That's Spanish. All right, so diapasones must be like their word for tuning fork maybe, and then you can kind of assume that obviously this means therapeutic, right? But there are millions of people in the United States who search Amazon in Spanish. What they do, people don't realize. They just go here, they hit this button, and they hit Espanol. Millions of Amazon Prime members search in Espanol. And what happens is Amazon automatically translates the listings, but they don't always use the right words. So it's better if you somehow get these into like the back end of your listing, or you somehow get it, or at least if Amazon translates wrong, you can like actually open up a case and say, hey, Amazon, you translated my title, this weird thing. Please change the word to diapasones terapeuticos. How would you say that in Italian? Something similar probably, huh?
Yeah, terapeutico is the same.
Terapeutico, there you go. All right, so you would say, hey, Amazon, this is the thing that Spanish people are searching. Please change my translation to this. And so this is important. And it's not just Spanish. Sometimes you'll find Korean words, Japanese words in here of people who search Amazon USA in different words. And so I kind of know Spanish. I can speak like 70%. I have never seen these words in my entire life. So like I would never have come up with that. But hey, let's see how many people are searching with that Spanish word. 400 people a month. Wow. Thousands of people a year are searching. I'm not even going to try and say that again, but that keyword. Look at this. Do you notice anything about this?
Cunning, the misspelling.
Misspelling, yeah. People have fat fingers like me, and sometimes mess up when we're typing on our phones, right?
Yes.
And so here's a keyword, 300 people.
Yeah.
Is this going to make you $1 million? No, but if all of a sudden you have this, now this one probably I bet the AI would know from right away that it would do it. But sometimes the misspellings are so weird that or maybe there's not that much search volume where, hey, I'll just put that into my search terms or something to be searchable for it. Tuning fork activator. Body harmony healing instrument. Ooh, that's so fancy, right?
Is.
Sound therapy. This looks like a GIF. Sound therapy instruments for healing. I love keywords that have at least 3, 4, 5 letters. In my opinion, they have a lot of what we call buyer intent.
Yeah.
Somebody types in forks. They could be searching any random thing. They're probably not going to buy something after they type fork. They're just looking to see what comes up.
Yeah.
But if I take the time to actually type out sound therapy instrument, I'm pretty like sure what I'm looking for.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Healing bells. Maybe that's how some people call this. I never would have thought about that.
They kind of look like handbells in a way.
Exactly.
Sound
Frequency healing devices. Energy healing tools.
That's interesting.
How much percentage, especially all these numbers, these ones with numbers, how many of these would we have missed out on sales potentially because we did not even put them into our listing, or we do not understand that is important. So this is what allows us, we go through, I would use some of these filters. So like, hey, where are people concentrating their advertising spend? I can actually do that here. hey, where are they showing up at the top of search?
Wow.
If somebody is showing up at top of search, it means, and they're a good seller, which these guys all are, it means they must have some data that shows that's a good keyword for them to have. Otherwise, why are they because they have to pay for that. Sponsored ads mean they're paying for that position. If you're an experienced seller, you don't pay to get up to the top unless it must be working for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you were just starting on your own in the bubble, you wouldn't know what words are going to work in advertising until you actually do it and waste a lot of money. This is like being able to take advantage of what your competitors have already gone through. So tons of filters here. And the last thing I go through before I want to start talking about AI with Leo here is that historical trend, what I was talking about. You hit this button, and let's just take a look at one of these products, like this one. And let's look at, first of all, I can see how many keywords that they were ranking for, and how many, like look at this, all of a sudden, in March, they were doing a whole bunch of different keywords for their video
Sponsored
advertising.
brands.
Yeah. Let's look at December. Looks like this. So I'm going to hit December, and I'm going to hit apply. And for that product, what were some of the keywords where they were doing well for? A lot of the similar ones: sound healing instruments, frequency healing, Reiki. That's a new word.
Yeah.
You know what that means? You sound like you know what that means. I don't know what that
Energy
means. Okay.
Meditation instruments.
There you go. Yoga tools. You see, I don't know anything about yoga. I don't know anything about this. I would not have tied the two, but now I'm looking at them like, oh yeah, probably somebody who's doing yoga. Maybe somebody's right behind them doing that. Metaphysical. Yep. So key coil for healing, giant tuning fork. So a bunch of different keywords showed up that were not showing up in whatever month we were looking at. And so this is another way to find good keywords. There's one last step I'm not going to get into. It's another tool called Brand Analytics where I showed you before in X-Ray, where you can find the top 3 clicked products for any keyword, any week, any month in the last 5 years. And so you can go in and put your competitors, hey, where did they show up where they were actually one of the top 3 clicked, which means that, obviously they were, very relevant to the buyers. And so I'm going to make my keyword list doing all of this research here. There's going to be a special podcast episode out there. It's episode 699 in the Serious Sellers podcast. So go watch this YouTube video. There'll be a link in the description where I go into more detail, and you can watch this too and bookmark it because I'm sure you're not going to remember every single filter I just did right here. But where I go through like a 10-step process of all the different keywords. But here's the thing, guys. Amazon is not about keywords. I can't just take these keywords and copy it and paste it right. Let me just stuff my listing with all these keywords and I'm going to have success. No, that is not optimized for the buyer. You have to make a listing in a way that is optimized for the buyer, and you also have to think like an Amazon buyer thinks. And that's where some of these AI algorithms come in, like Rufus, and the way that indexing works now, where Amazon is looking more and more into buyer intent as well. Keywords are still the most important. But Leo, why don't you go ahead and take the next few minutes and start talking about, once you're done with the keywords, what other things you have to think about outside of keywords?
Yeah, if we take a minute here to understand or just read the papers that Amazon made available to us through the Amazon Science website. Last year, I think it was the first time that they released a paper regarding Cosmo, which is a model that sits pretty much between yourself, like you as a buyer, and the Amazon inline algorithm, and understands what you're typing, feeds it back to the algorithm, learns back the response, and then feeds you back some personalized results. And this changed drastically the way that people just find products, right? So while, like Bradley said, before we used to just put a bunch of keywords in the listing, and that was enough to be discovered. And if one keyword wasn't found, we were just searching for the ASIN plus the keyword. And if it wasn't indexed, we would put it somewhere else in the listing until when it was indexed. Today, even if you have these keywords in the listing and you are indexed, but you're not meeting that search query's intent, when a user is searching for a product that is going to solve their problem, you're not going to be relevant. You're not going to be found. And the example that Amazon gives in the papers is, if someone is searching for example, a winter coat, the intent of that person is to be warm, right? They want to stay warm during winter time, and for that reason, they are searching winter coat. So what Amazon is doing now, thanks to this Cosmo and this knowledge base that they have been building over time, they're looking at all these listings and how semantically relevant they are to the search intent. In this case, let's say the root keyword, which is staying warm or winter coat. And they say, okay, let's look at the attributes and see which one of these winter coats is most likely to keep this person warmer. Okay, so what fills the intent better? And so how do you do that? You do it by filling all the backend attributes, look at the flat file, look at all the columns that Amazon provides to you today, and make sure that you fill the columns that they recommend you to fill. Do not leave anything blank. A, because it's not helping you from an indexation perspective. B, you're leaving room to somebody else, potential Chinese attackers, to upload that flat file with the data that you did not upload, and now they are contributing to your listing, potentially damaging your indexation and relevancy, or even getting your account suspended or your listing suspended because they upload, I don't know, a keyword related to an adult product or flag, right? So going back to the relevancy of that product based on what these new AI models are based on, if you have in your backend keywords something like, okay, your product or your winter coat is made out of goose feathers rather than acrylic, filling, which one do you think is going to be warmer? Probably the goose feathers, right? And so that's how Amazon is going to score this listing based on that intent, which is to keep the user warm. And in fact, if you go today on the Amazon search results pages, you type in winter coat, you're probably going to see a product that does not have the keyword winter coat in the title, but it is the warmest because of these other important, elements or attributes that they've been learning. And so what I like to do also with the keywords that Bradley found, I use ChatGPT, is the tool that today we use the most, I would say. And I asked ChatGPT based on these keywords to also give me another set of keywords that are semantically relevant, and also that have a high search intent, high commercial intent, right? Because I don't want keywords that might not convert into sales. And so now I started to compare because I want to really understand from a semantic perspective the intent, so that I can write a listing that fills two main, or that satisfies two main principles or goals. One, be found by the users, give the users what they're looking and searching for, but also be found by the AI, the search engines. Because if the search engines, you can have a beautiful store, you can sell Gucci shoes and all the best beautiful brands, but if your store is located in a corner of a mall that nobody sees, you're not going to sell anything. So it's important not only to be found, but also discoverable by the engines themselves. I think, this is in a nutshell what it's important for us to understand today and how the algorithm evolved. And we can have also another session to, we walk people through the also ChatGPTs, getting some AI involved. But Bradley, do you have any specific, do you do any specific thing right now? Oh, actually, you brought up Rufus here, right?
Yeah, Rufus is here, and also the reviews. So this is another way where Rufus and even Amazon's other AI algorithms are looking at reviews and seeing what customers say about the product. Even if there's a word maybe you never even had in your listing, if it shows up in the review, Amazon is looking at that. And so here's an AI generation of what overall customers are saying. But this is very important. You want to look at how people are using the product. What are they complaining about?
Okay.
What do they love about it? Look at the 5-star reviews. Look at the 1-star reviews. My Amazon account doesn't allow me to look at the reviews right now. I don't know why my account's blocked. Otherwise, I would use a Helium 10 tool called Review Insights. And actually, using Review Insights, I can summarize and see what are the most common words that are showing up here. Mm-hmm. The perfect example I've always used for probably 7 years now is collagen peptides. Collagen peptides, do you know what collagen peptides are?
I've heard of them.
Yeah, so it's like a powder.
Work, but yes.
It's good for your hair and skin and nails. Yep. If I were to ask you hey, here's a listing of 20,000 reviews for collagen peptides, what would be the number one most common, at least 2-word or more phrase, you might say something like, well, probably collagen peptides or collagen powder or hair and skin or nail. Like you would think it's something like that. But consistently for years, the top phrase is a 3-word phrase, no matter what listing. And it's in my coffee.
Oh.
And so when you actually click into it and you see, well, why is in my coffee? What happens is so many hundreds of people are saying, I love this in my coffee. I mix it in my coffee. Oh, this mixes well in my coffee.
Yeah.
And that's the number one phrase. I mean, collagen powder, collagen powder is probably like number 2 and 3. But in my coffee is not a keyword. Nobody searches in my coffee thinking I'm going to get collagen. That's not a search term. It's not a keyword. But it's important to know and include in your listing because that's how people are using your product.
Yes.
Because now, so then what you do is that affects how you make your listing. Because I'll show you guys, like people weren't doing this before, but if we look at collagen peptides now, let me show you what sellers are doing. I'm just going to pick a random one and assume that they're going to make me look good here. Let's look up Vital Proteins. They're one of the top brands. 50,000 bought in the past month. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't you like to sell 50,000 products? But let's take a look here. There it is. Look at that. What are they doing? They're not saying in my coffee, but they're subtly putting here, here's coffee, here's this, it goes together. And somebody looks at this, oh man, I literally buy this so I can put it in my coffee. And now they're getting more of an emotional connection. Here's another picture of it where it shows somebody pouring into a coffee cup. So again, it's not a keyword, but you're taking insights from how buyers use the product, weaving it into your image, weaving it in your listing. Like, I don't know if they do it, but let's see if they say it. There it is. Easy to mix in beverages such as coffee. All right?
8 instances of the word.
8 instances of coffee on this listing somewhere. So again, this person, obviously, they must have Helium 10, and they did the research. And so this is important. Don't, again, just like what Leo and I have both been saying, don't just think about the keywords. The keywords are important, but you have to craft how to connect with the customer. What can you write in here that connects with the customer? And all of this stuff is going to help AI too, because now all of a sudden, somebody who's been buying a lot of coffee and Amazon has some data that these people also buy collagen. Now, like, hey, what kind of collagen should they buy? Oh, this collagen, is talking about coffee and it says it in the image even. Let's like show this listing to that person who bought that coffee. And so there's all this residual benefits.
When it comes to Rufus, do you know what Rufus is?
It's the AI component, right? Of Amazon.
Yes, it's a chat-based AI assistant, right? And so Amazon did a good job with Rufus so far. The goal here is to help buyers find the right products with the assistance of AI and the knowledge and the understanding that AI has of specific products. As of, I think, yesterday or a couple of days ago, we found that Rufus actually now has memory as well. So he will go back to conversations and tell you that historically, Rufus knows that you've been searching for certain things. And so as they keep collecting more data from several users, they'll be able to recommend products based on your historical behavior with the engine itself or purchases, right? So it's very important today to have that conversation also with Rufus while you're doing the keyword research, while you're building your listing, to understand, ask questions about your competitors, ask questions about this specific niche, ask why people like it, what people don't like about certain products, how they use it, right? So that is a powerful tool that can help you also craft a much better listing, fill the gaps, right, that other competitors may have, but also give you a really good understanding during this phase right now. You're at the beginning, you're sourcing your product, into what really you can do as a seller, as this business owner, to make this product a lot more appealing and definitely give to customers exactly what they want now.
And this is a way, just while Leo was talking, on this collagen peptides, I click one of the autocomplete. I like doing that for my listing or for my competitor's listing or my listing. What are the 3 or 4 autocomplete questions that it's asking, right? And I click it and then I see what Rufus says. And here's one of the ones. I did not write this question. This was the autocomplete so that somebody could just click on it. can this collagen powder be used in baking? Look what it says. The product information does not provide specific details, but just one customer said that it's used for something else. So if I'm looking at this, to me, the answer is no. This is saying no, because the listing doesn't say so, the reviews don't say so. But what if I know, this is my brand, let's just say, absolutely this collagen powder can be used in baking. I don't want people to look at Rufus and be like, oh, no, I can't buy this product because Rufus says no. So then all you have to do is add something somewhere here and can be used for baking. Like that's it.
Yeah.
15 minutes later, you ask, as long as the listing updates, you ask the same question, Rufus is going to know. The listing actually says it can be used for baking, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, don't lie about things blows up their oven or something, like some crazy thing. But it just shows you that, like, look at this to make sure that you have your bases covered. Like some of these other questions, there is a positive thing. Like, watch this. I haven't clicked this, but I bet you it's going to have a very different answer than that. Look at that. Can this collagen powder be mixed with hot beverages? Yes, this collagen powder can be mixed with hot beverages. As a matter of fact, here's an image that talks about, well, that's cold beverages, but still, how to mix collagen. It brings in an image. It tells you yes because the listing says yes, and so this person is covered. But on this other question, they were not covered because they weren't looking at this.
Yeah, this is a very good example of how you can inject information into Rufus through your listing, but also through your images, because Rufus does read images. To Bradley's point, you could even give a recipe maybe, that can be featured over there, and you'll probably be one of the only ones doing that. So like that's why keyword research evolved, and the way we do today analysis, research and analysis is very different. Like you are almost like a scientist behind the scenes here, but this is one of the things that you cannot still fully replicate with AI agents, because you need to put effort. It's your brain that goes behind it and thinking and putting all these pieces together, but it will make you obviously much more powerful in this ecosystem.
Robust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you've filled up your list of keywords here in Helium 10 with all the keywords you found in Cerebro, you found from Etsy, you found from Product Opportunity Explorer, you found in different places. And you also took down a whole bunch of notes about what people are saying about your products in reviews, or your competitors' products, I should say, what Rufus is saying, what's coming up in autocomplete. You could even look up under Google Trends, perhaps even find more keywords. ChatGPT, what are their trending keywords? A lot of these will be duplicates, but that's fine. The Helium 10 will know what's duplicates, but whatever you find out there from whatever source, just throw it all in there. And then we are going to make the listing next, trying to use as many of those individual keywords as possible, and using those emotional touch points that aren't keywords, such as the, in my coffee and things like that, about how people are using tuning forks. And then that's how we're going to craft a listing. We can go AI with it. I'll show you how to do that. Or we can just write it, the traditional way. And so that's what we're going to cover in the next episode. We'll see you guys then.
See you there.